Great. Well, today I'm joined by Andy Bounds, communications guy extraordinaire. I've much admired Andy's work in communications for many years, ostensibly because he is so good at helping other people to communicate better. I'm not sure if that's how you would put it, Andy, but that's definitely how I think of you. No. And I think one of the things that would be really useful today would be to have a look at about us pages on websites. So we've all seen good ones and bad ones. Before I jump into that, just a couple of quick words to introduce Andy for those of you in the small minority who haven't heard of him. Andy is Sales Trainer of the Year and knocked Harry Potter off the top spot on Amazon, which is no small claim to fame. So if I'd certainly had a book on Amazon that had wiped the floor with Harry Potter, I'd be justifiably proud. So we're really pleased that Andy's joined us today to have a talk about how, and apologies in advance for the small swear, but justified on this occasion, how your About Us page could be less shit. I don't mean yours specifically, but About Us pages in general. So what do we mean by that? I think not the technicals, the bells and whistles, but we're talking about the content and underlying purpose of About Us pages. Mm-hmm. Do you have any thoughts about that, Andy?
Yeah, I mean, generally, if you are looking to impress a customer so they want to buy more from you, remember that customers are interested in two things. Number one, they're interested in themselves, and also they're interested in their future. In other words, can you make their future better? So if you're a lawyer, they're thinking, can you keep me out of jail? If you are an accountant, they're thinking, can you help me pay less tax? If you're a website company, you're thinking, can you help me make more sales? So customers are interested in themselves and their future. The sad thing is about most About Us pages that I see is they talk about the total opposite. So they don't talk about the customer, they talk about the supplier. And they don't talk about the future, they talk about the past. So instead of saying, I can help you stay out of jail, they say, I was founded in 1922 and here's a map of my offices.
Indeed, and we see a great many of them, and I don't necessarily think, possibly people don't set out to create that. It's just that people seldom write those things about their businesses. So when they're called to do so, they're doing it for the first time, or they haven't done it very often. And they might approach it from the telling a story point of view. But that's the sequence in which it happened for them. Yeah. And that's, I think, what you've just said. So I think one of the things that's really important, what's the purpose for the reader of the website? Very often, if it's somebody who's thinking about hiring you to help them with something, it's in understanding the culture of the business, the personality of the business, and fundamentally, are we going to get on? So social media is quite good at that, but just on the About Us page.
So going to the About, are we going to get on? And also, can they help me achieve the future I want? So if you are if you work for an organisation and you help companies sell more, so say you work in marketing or whatever it might be, if I'm going into your website, yes, I want to see that I get on with you and I like you, but I'm also thinking, can you help me sell more? So I'm going to want to see examples of where you've helped somebody else. Remember the poem, facts tell, stories sell. I don't really want facts about your business too much. I want stories about you. I want stories about how you've helped other people sell more. I want to have a look at your testimonials page if you have them. I want it to say about, after working with you, these were the sales I got. So people are looking to see who you hang with, what you like, and the successes you've given to other people. I have yet to find anyone who thinks, I won't be buying from these lot unless I know how old their company is.
It might not be a big thing. I struggle to think of the niche of companies where they must know that you are at least 200 years old. And I think it serves very little of the purpose of understanding the culture and the values of the business that you're thinking about working with.
Yeah, a very simple rule I find with copywriting, and indeed in any sort of proposals if you write those as well, is have a look at the first word of your top 4 or 5 paragraphs, and almost always it'll be we. So we were founded in this, we're specialists in this, we have market lead in this, our customer service, so they have we and our all over the place. It's like when companies write proposals, very often they have set headings which talks about our solution. But if I'm talking to somebody who wants to say make lasagna, well, you want the word lasagna in the title. So here's how we'll make your lasagna is better than our solution. If you're talking to somebody who wants to export into Belgium, you say, here's how we'll help you get into Belgium. You don't say our unique processes. And so a very simple thing to do with your own site is just have a look at the front page and ask yourself, if someone looked at that, do they kind of get what we like? Can they tell that we improve people's futures, or has it just got the word "we" all over the place so people understand what we're like and how old we are, but they don't really know if we can help them?
Great point. I'm also thinking in the back of my head, right, our About Us page, do we conform to that? And so we need to give ourselves a get out here, Andy.
Yeah, I was thinking I might just have a look at mine as well, but I'm pretty sure we'll be all right.
And there's nothing wrong on that note with the continuously improving.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably separate out the difference between the home page, the services pages, which definitely should be customer focused.
Yeah.
The one page which might be a little bit, apart from creds to the side or whatever,
Yeah.
where you get the luxury of talking about your business and your story, where people want to go to find out those things, is probably the About Us page.
Sure.
There's nothing wrong with also making that customer focused as well, but you need to say a little bit about it. So that's probably a really good point to say, what small, quick win improvement might we all make? Nobody's website's perfect, nobody's About Us is perfect. What's a good sort of place to go and have a look at, and maybe small improvements that people can make right away?
Okay, it's a very good question. So the thing which I find works best is, I think, what are the words that tend to be ringing around your customers' heads? So if you are someone who works for a marketing agency, your customers are thinking, how do we accelerate growth? How do we get more bums on seats? How do we open more doors? How do we generate leads? And that is the words that are going on in their heads. So what you then need to do is put those words that are going on in our heads in a very prominent place. So in the title, in the top line, none of this, well, it's in the middle of paragraph 6 rubbish, because if it's in the middle of paragraph 6, trust me, they won't read that far. So what we want to do is think, what words are they probably looking for, and get them high. Great
advice. So we're probably all going to go off now and have a quick look and see if there's any way we can improve that. And little quick wins that make the difference. What is it the Olympic team say? The aggregation of marginal gains.
Yes, that's right, and I like that. And using smaller words, if you just do a couple of things that you know will make it better. There's a phrase I was once taught which I found very helpful, which is success, not perfection. I've never found a perfect communicator. I'm certainly not one, and I teach this stuff. I've never found a perfect website, but you can make yours more successful by just tweaking it and just continually improving it. And the good thing about websites is you track the improvements, so if it hasn't improved it, you just go back.
Absolutely. Great advice. Thanks ever so much, Andy.
No, you're welcome.